Dia akan menyerahkan baton kepada Russell Alexander. Nasir Taib sudah pun berlaku seraham. Russell Alexander, Nasir Taib mengejar.
Introducing to you Group 7.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Cikgu Amirul. Today I want to talk about sprint event 4 times 100 meters. Alright, sprint events are one of the athletic sports. The 4 times 100 meters relay, or called sprint relay, is an athletic track event run in lanes over one lap of the track with 4 runners completing 100 meters each. 4 sprinters in the same designated lane each run 100 meters to complete a lap of the track. During their individual leg, they have to carry a baton that must be passed to the next runner within a 20-meter changeover box that's situated 10 meter before and 10 meter after start of each subsequent leg. The outgoing runner usually run at full speed with an arm stretched out behind in order to receive the baton. Do you know the first Olympic relay took in 1908? Have you ever heard Usain Bolt from Jamaica, one of the sprinter, or Carl Lewis, who was the anchor leg on 6 US relay team, and Carmelita Jeter, who is the fastest anchor leg run by a woman, which is 9.70 seconds. The best one, our national sprinter Jonathan Yepa, one of the 4 sprinter who finished their track strongly in 4th to clock 39.27 seconds in SEA Games. So, the athletic events 4 times 100 meter is one of the compulsory track event, and today, as we can see, it became the compulsory school track event.
This sprint relay event 4 by 100 meters is organized for 50 students. The standards of the learnings are: first, the students know and understand how to start a relay event in the correct way. Second, we want the students to apply the knowledge and techniques of the relay event. Thirdly, the students engage actively and give good cooperation during the activities. The objective of this learning can be seen through 3 perspectives. First, the cognitive perspective. We want them to distinguish between the right and wrong techniques in this relay. We want them to use the correct combination of foot, hand, and body postures in running. Through the psychomotor perspective, we want them to have the ability to identify speed capabilities in the shortest amount of time. We also want them to have the ability to transfer the relay patterns without any difficulties. The effectiveness of this event, we want them to enjoy and give a full dedication in learning relays throughout the activities held. So, when doing this event, we assume that the students have had activities that increase the volume of heart rate and lungs, whereas they know how to control their breathing while running. So, through this event, we want them to have the values of cooperation, sportsmanship, confidence, safety, obedience, and enjoyment. To start this event, we need a whistle, starting blocks, relay batons, lane markers, cones, finish line posts, stopwatch, timers, and charger stands.
Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. How are you guys today? I hope you are good and full of enthusiasm to start our physical education class today. If any of you are feeling unwell or not in a good condition, inform me immediately, okay? So as usual, we will start our class with brief warm-up exercises. Now I want you to form a circle. Before that, are there any volunteers to lead the exercises? Okay, good. So, as we are going to learn sprinting, or specifically 4 times 100 relay today, we will focus on leg exercises. Okay, now, firstly, simply standing on your leg, bringing up your knee, grabbing it by the ankle to rotate it. Stay in the position for 10 seconds before switch the leg. Make sure to stand tall and not bend your leg, so that you can get the effective stretching from the exercises. Okay? Now, lightly jog. When I say 1, fasten your jog, and when I say 2, slow it down. Okay, now you are jogging lightly. Then, twist your torso the other way, like this, and simply working it through 10 times, from left to right and right to left. So it's like this, okay? 1, 2. So when you do the exercises, you will feel the stretch around the outside of your knee, okay? Now for the last exercises, we will do star jump. Do 5 times each side, okay? Now, for the next agenda, we will play a mini game before we move on to the next main course. The game is called Pass the Water. So, I will give you a cup of water to each group. The game starts when the first person passing the water must balance the cup on their palm. You can grasp it if you want, but it must be on your palm. And another hand is behind your back. Do you guys get it? Okay, good. Now, I want you all to form a few groups evenly. After that, divide the members into 2, which another part, waiting and gathering at the other side of the court. Okay?
Hi everyone, so today I'm going to talk about the 2 of the progress for relay, which is starting and drive. So first of all, on starting, the front leg is the most important at this phase. The sprinter is not in the moving phase yet, and this phase has the most amount of ground contact time, which means that at this phase, most your leg is on the ground. So the sprinter is not running yet, so it is fully on the ground. Next, for the drive phase, is to lift the blocks and go for the first stride, and then your hands lift from the ground and starts to swing. Next is your body lean forward, and your knee and hips are extended upon completing of this phase. That's it.
Hi guys, I'm Sir Chamela. I am going to continue the explanation and the demonstration by our teacher, Miss Shamil. Okay, right now I'm going to show you or emphasize what is the 2 final phases of the stage in sprinting, which are accelerate stage and the finishing stage. During the acceleration phase, once the sprinter takes off from the blocks or the starting line, they begin to accelerate by increasing stride length and stride frequency. And the length of this phase can be between 30 to 50 meters among top sprinters during a 100-meter race. And during acceleration, the time in which the foot is in contact with the ground is relatively long in order to generate high levels of force, but decrease as the sprinter achieves maximum running speed. And the last one is the finishing phase, which last phase is categorized by a decrease in sprinting speed. usually occurring between the 80 and 100 meter mark in top sprinters. Velocity begins to decrease on a scale from 0.5 to 1.5 meters per second and is caused by central and peripheral fatigue. And the decrease in this speed is mainly caused by a decrease in stride frequency, as stride length and ground contact time is increased when compared to the third sprinting phase.
After learning the steps of 4 times 100 meter relay sprint and watching the demonstration on how to properly run during this event, here is the students' practical on what they have learned.
Firstly, student will be ready and positioned at the designated line in the respective lane with the baton on the right hand. When the teacher blew the whistle, student will start sprinting inside the lane. Now, student must pass the baton within the exchanging zone to avoid disqualification. This footage is a great example of completed 4 times 100 meter relay sprint. Students will complete the activity when the last runner reaches the finishing line with the baton in hand inside their own lane. Students must be able to abide all the rules while running to avoid disqualification.
The students must repeat the same activity and the techniques they have learned at least twice in order to master the 4 times 100 meter relay sprint properly.
Assalamualaikum and good evening, students. Okay, so today we are going to do a small game which is water relay race. Okay, how does this game work? You are going to be divided into 4 groups and each group will be given 1 sponge, 1 pail of water and 1 bottle. Each member needs to run from the starting line and soak the sponge in the water and then run straight to the plastic bottle and squeeze out the water into it. Next, you need to go back to your team members and pass the sponge to the next runner. Any group that managed to get the highest level of water in the bottle will win this game. Good luck! Okay, so the objective of this mini game is to increase stamina of the students, to practice relay baton passing, to learn to be cautious in a game, and lastly, to learn to follow the instructions carefully. Lastly, I hope you guys enjoy today's lesson. See you in the next class. Bye!
Before we end this video, I'm going to conclude what students have learned from this lesson. After completing the 4x100 meter sprint event lesson, students will gain knowledge and understand the correct way how 4x100 meter sprint event is implemented from beginning to the end. The knowledge consists of techniques and rules that are required in this event. First, students are able to know how to hold and exchange the baton. Next, they also learn the correct techniques to pass the baton so that the baton doesn't fall. For the rules, students will understand how the exchange zone works to avoid the disqualification from the event. For example, the baton can only be passed within the exchange zone, which is 20 meters long. Next, we're moving on to the benefits of this sprint relay event lessons to students. Students will be able to self-discipline. This is because students will try their best to practice the correct techniques and comply with all the rules to avoid being disqualified at once to be the winner. Then, in terms of psychomotor perspective, students will be able to plan strategies for upcoming school sports event. They will be able to identify the speed capabilities among their team members and then planning the position of the runners. So this can improve students' thinking and cooperation between them. From the small game activity named water relay race, students can improve their focus and efficiency in passing techniques by using the sponge, and also increase the stamina and speed of the students as they need to run in turns to fill the bottle with water. However, there are also benefits for the teachers from this 4x100 meter lesson. First, students' management during school sports event will be easier because the students already have knowledge about the sprint event. Next, teacher also can identify students who have potential in this sprint event. And lastly, it is clear that sprint events such as 4x100 meter relay not only require physical strength and speed, but can also train students to think and strive while playing sport. That's all from us. I hope you gain some knowledge from this video and thank you for watching.